And when marriage begins, then all of a sudden, like the thing that you just posed, that what did you find for better or for worse?
Yes.
Yeah, because once you get into there, we said for better, for worse. That's the promise that we made.
That's the promise we make, yes.
We get in there, and then we find that there is some for worse stuff in there.
Yeah.
And because of that for worse stuff, it begins to challenge our feelings of love for each other. And then, those feelings of love now become really challenged. And suddenly we begin to feel like we don't love this person anymore. So that's what we are going to be answering next week. This is what we are going to be looking at. How do you love when you don't feel love? How can you love someone when you feel like you've lost the love?
Yes, I remember. Yes, you remember the book in Stephen, the one we were reading, where this man came and said, I don't love my wife. Then what did he say?
Yeah,
he said, love her.
He said love her, and he insisted. He said no.
The second time he said, I don't love her.
You don't understand that I have no feelings for her.
Yeah. And then again he said, love her. He said, I don't love her the third time.
Yeah.
And again he said, that's the more reason why you should love her.
Yeah.
So how do you love?
So we need to try and understand what he meant when he said love her. So how do you love someone when you have no feelings of love for them? So this is what we need to dive into
next week.
Next week. So next week, that's what we'll be looking at. So if you can join us next week, that will be awesome. That will be great. We'll be looking forward to that. But before we can proceed, we just wanted to, I think, revisit that issue that we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah. So
did we have someone time? What was the first pattern that you discovered, which was for better or for worse? Maybe we can just go for better this time. What was the first thing? Or maybe for some, the first year was already in honeymoon.
Yeah.
For some, you didn't discover. So let's talk about what we discovered.
Oh, okay. Do you want to start? Yes. You want to go first?
Ladies first. So
for worse.
For worse. So for better, obviously, I discovered that Adrian was very patient. Even before we entered into our marriage, Adrian was very patient. He's always been patient. But then for Wes, it's like, because of his patience, he would take so much time to do things. And I'm a kind of a person who wants to do things not so much on time, before even time, so that I can do them on time. So when I discovered that, I knew that was going to be for Wes, because it was always tug of war. I'm like, we need to prepare tonight for tomorrow. He will be like, no, we'll be fine. By tomorrow, I'm like, we need to be leaving. The meeting is starting at 12. So we've got to leave at 11. And he's like, no, we're going to leave. There's still time. So, and as you know, in marriage, it's the little foxes that destroy the vine. So just there, I'm sure someone might be saying, oh, just for him to say we're going to be running late, is that something that was for Wes? Yes, because when you get into that car and then you realize you're running late for this meeting that you should have been on time, you start arguing, you start talking. By the time you're getting to the conference or to the event, you've lost the joy of even attending it. So that was the first thing I discovered for Wes. Lack of timekeeping.
Okay. What about you? What was it? Let's hear from you. If you can share with us what was for better.
For better. We're just looking for better.
So we can keep away from the West.
Yes.
Okay. No.
So what did you discover then?
I think I'll talk about for West.
Okay.
Okay. No. I think to bring balance, let's talk about both of it. Okay. So for better, right now, Mwango is you are a very quick person.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want something done real quick, she's the person. So she would just quickly get it done. I mean, she's already said, me, I have to think about it first. And then I have to think about it again. And then I have to think about, and then I have to draw a line around it. And then I have to underline it.
Yes.
And then I'll be like, okay, we can do this.
Yes.
But that will be 3 days later. But for her, when we say this needs to be done, it's done. It's been done now.
Yes.
And, that's a good thing. Yes. And I have embraced that because at least it's covered my weakness a little bit.
Yes.
And we are able to move at least at a quicker pace than if I married someone who was laid back like myself.
Yes.
It will take us weeks to get things done. So that's a good thing. Now, for Wes, you ready? Yeah, I think for Wes, one of the things that shocked me about her was that I never knew that part. She would get really angry. I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yes.
She will be so angry.
Yeah.
So, but it's something that we had to now begin to work on.
Yes.
And we have really, really, moved so much from there to now where at least when we are dealing with things, we talk and there's no anger and it's all peaceful. And yes. So that was for West for me. I don't know about you. Can you hear anything there? Can you see anything?
No.
What was for West?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we leave you to continue thinking through.
Think about that.
And then see.
Let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation about that one because that's what makes these things, interesting and exciting, especially when we revisit where we are coming from.
Yes.
For us, the West part, that was like, 20 years ago? I think the first 2 years of our marriage were okay.
Yes.
Maybe the third year.
The fourth year we encountered a few things that we're gonna be sharing along the way.
We have to deal with all those things and then moved on. So thank you so much for being patient while we indulge ourselves talking about whatever challenges that we had. So we got a few questions from from someone that wanted to ask a few questions, and as always we would like to share with you the question, and also if you have any thoughts about it, then we will be glad to hear from you what your thoughts are. Okay.
Did you find any?
Okay.
So this is the question.
What was the question? Yeah.
We haven't yet started looking at the areas of communication and love. However, we're just gonna gloss over a little just to see how we can handle this. The question is, are there many ways to communicate love in a marriage? Are there many ways to communicate love in a marriage?
Okay. If there's anyone with any thoughts, please just drop it in there. But what I would say is that yes, there are different ways that you will communicate love. So what we will be talking about next week, which is how do you love when you don't feel like loving someone. That is slightly separate from this one. This one, I think the question is about how you communicate love. So
are there many ways?
Yes. Love has a language.
Yes. Yeah.
Love has a language, just like we all have different languages. So some people speak Spanish, some people speak Bemba, others are able to speak English and so on and so forth. So love also has a language. So there is a way that love must be communicated.
Yes.
So we are going to, as we cover these topics, we are going to talk about the different love languages.
Yes.
I'm sure some people might have come across the book by Gary Chapman where he talks about the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
So we will cover that. So there are so many different ways that you can communicate love.
Yes.
So just to answer that, yes, there is many different ways, and we will cover those, how we communicate love. Just quickly, maybe just to drop it in there, but we will cover that when we get there, but just to quickly drop it in there. The challenge that we find normally when we are trying to communicate love to one another is that we know ourselves how we receive love.
Yeah.
But we don't spend some time to find out how the other person receives love. So I think I read a book somewhere where some people are given a questionnaire and they were asked to list the priorities of, love, how they want or how they feel their spouses would receive love from them. And what they did was that the first scene that they put there was the way that they want to receive love.
Okay.
So, like for me, there's a way that I receive love, and I put it there as the first scene. Now, without finding out and communicating and discussing with you and looking at you and understanding you to know how you receive love, there's going to be a conflict.
Yeah.
Because I'll communicate it to you in the way that you don't want it to be communicated, or in the way that you don't receive it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's got a language.
So love as a language, and we will dive into that next week. So yes, for that. Any answers there to that one? Okay, not yet. Yeah, right.
Then the other one is, how does one handle one's emotions in the context of communication, behavior, and attitude? Then how does one express one's feelings without offense? And how does one deal and handle offense? So this is like kind of one question. How does one handle one's emotions in the context of communication, behavior, and attitude? And how does one express one's feelings and without offense? And then how does one deal with or handle with offense?
Okay, yeah. Like you said, I think those three questions are actually, I think, trying to zero in on communication.
Yeah.
And conflict resolution, because of obviously there is a word offense.
Yeah.
So because there is that word offense, to me, I'm thinking, okay, someone is offended.
Yeah.
So someone is offended by something that someone said or did to them.
Yes.
So the question there is, how do you communicate
your emotions,
and so on and so forth. Yeah. So without offense. Yeah, I think we will cover communication, and we will cover conflict resolution in as we go along. But just to answer that question, I think these situations are thrown at us at different times. So you may, if it's in a situation of maybe couple, husband and wife, and they're trying to communicate to each other, they're trying to talk about a very sensitive issue. And someone becomes, agitated somehow. The way to deal with those emotions is maybe to take a break.
Yeah.
And say, okay, we can't continue talking about this. It's very sensitive. My emotions are being, before you do anything, in a very gentle and nice way, and say, can we just come back to it? Time out. Can we come back to it? You go make a cup of tea, come back, and then maybe later on, maybe a week or so, then you talk about it. But sometimes it can be thrown at us just in the midst, like maybe at the office, your manager comes with something you did and didn't really like it, and just comes and begins to shout and begins to scream, and you want to respond because your emotions are just... So I think my advice would be, like the Bible says, that be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to get angry.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I would look at it. So in the thick of things, when you are challenged by something that would just mess up your emotions, the best way to respond without really creating problems for yourself is to hold yourself first. Don't say anything. Hear what they're saying. Don't respond, and just get yourself together. And when you get yourself together, you calm yourself down. And when you calm yourself down, then you can get back and speak.
I think that's the most crucial part. I think I'm trying to develop, especially when Adrian said anger is one of the things that really challenged me. I've tried to develop the 4 human gifts that we have. Humans are not like animals. When you beat a dog, the dog will bite you straight away. Or when you step on a snake will quickly bite you. But with human beings, we've got these 4 unique gifts that you have to, first of all, step out, watch your thoughts, then look at your conscious, and then see what is your belief. But in all communication, when we come to talk more about it, there are what we call, again, filters. filters are the things like my belief, what I believe in, or the age, the person I'm communicating with, or the experiences that I've had. So sometimes even with the best intention, those filters, both to the sender and to the receiver, when they receive them either distorted or argumentative. So there's that also aspect of communication. But when we get into communication, we look at that. The basic thing that we are saying here is when there's emotions, negative emotions trying to rise up, it's to step back and watch your thoughts. Look at yourself, your belief and your conscience, and then come and respond. It's something that has to be developed. It's not easy. In the heat of the moment, we just want to lash out. But it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't help at all. I think it's when something is presented like that, like you said, you hold back and you calm your emotions down. You calm yourself down, and then you speak. Now, when you're speaking, she talked about filters. When you're speaking, you have to pay attention to the tone of your voice, and you have to pay attention also to the language, the choice of words that you use. And you also have to pay attention to your body language. So the tone, the choice of words, and your body language. When you decide to speak, after you've calmed yourself. If you have calmed yourself and you speak after after taking those things into consideration, you will find that your tone will be the right tone, and there will be the right choice of words, and also there's going to be the right sort of body language. That will be employed in that. We have to, when we are responding, we have to bear in mind also who we are responding to, because we can put ourselves into all kinds of problems. I mean, if it's someone senior to me, and then they say certain things, if I respond with emotions, I might get the sack, I might lose it, I might lose the job. If it's a parent, you don't answer them like that. So we just make sure that we are mindful of those things. So I think that's what we would say. I don't know if there's any contributions there. Okay, no, we haven't got any.
Slow to speak and listen more.
Slow to speak and listen more.
Thank you.
So we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Spending some time with us, and I hope this has been of benefit to you in one or the other.
Hope. And thank you for joining us. And so for today, we are praying that the Lord will keep you. The Lord will watch over your affairs. He will cover you, even as we are in this lockdown still. Some are still, going out, but may the Lord cover you, cover your families, and keep you well. Thank you so much. We love you all, and we hope you can join us again next week, where we are going to start now looking at love, the promise of love, to love and to cherish. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you need to send us any question, you can do it in whichever way you're comfortable. You can send us you can use Messenger, or we've got an email. You can drop us some feedback on the email that we've got, which is info@marriageandrelationshipchat.com. So info@marriageandrelationshipchat.com. So just drop us an email, and whoever drops us an email, of course, we can also respond through an email. We can give a few more information and a few more suggestions that you could take. But feel free and just drop us any questions, any suggestions, or anything. We'll be so glad to hear from you. So once again, thank you so much for joining us and for being around, and I hope to see you again next week.
God bless you.
So take care.
We love you. Thank you.